Let me show you something that I have been experimenting with. We consume a lot of technical content, a conference talk here, a webinar there, a podcast during the commute, a YouTube video when we have some time. After watching it, we think that's useful, maybe take a few notes, and then we move on. But here is the question I started asking myself. After watching the technical content, what can I actually do with it? What knowledge can I extract from it? How can I turn that knowledge into something that I can actually practice? Recently, I came across a PostgreSQL conference session titled From Oracle to PostgreSQL Real World Migration Nuances. The session talks about something that is very relevant to PostgreSQL engineers, Oracle to PostgreSQL migration. Things like data type mapping, object migration, difference between the databases, data loading, replication strategies, cutover planning, compatibility gaps, and the kind of problems that you actually show up during the migration. The same topic was also present as a webinar in their YouTube channel, and I have extracted the transcript of this presentation and gave the transcript to AI and asked it to extract the actual engineering knowledge from the discussion. Not just to summarize the webinar, but I asked what is the core discussion happened there, what are the important technical concepts, what skills are actually hidden in this discussion, what is relevant to me as a PostgreSQL DBA. Before we understand what the answer that I got, let's take an example of a small 2-minute YouTube short that I did the same thing for, and then we'll jump into the Oracle to PostgreSQL migration transcript. This is the 2-minute short on Docker best practices that I have used for the experiment. I copied the URL and pasted it to a YouTube transcript generator to extract the transcript of that video. Now that I have got the transcript, I copied the transcript and pasted it to my notepad, and this is the transcript. Then I have copied it and pasted it to my ChatGPT and asked, what do you think about this short? Give me the answer in English. So it gave me the short talks about the Docker best practices. Then I asked a more granular question, something like, since we discussed the points at high level, I want a more granular, smart way of learning Docker for PostgreSQL. Can you give me high-level steps followed by detailed roadmap? Then it gave me a detailed roadmap. These are the high-level steps. There are 10 to 12 steps that it has identified. First, learn Docker fundamentals, then storage, then networking, then image building, configuration, security, PostgreSQL operation, and so on. So it gave me the detailed instructions. In the next prompt, I asked, what are the real world engineering case studies? Search in internet and then get me the real world case studies. So it gave me a few real world case studies as well. For example, the prompt I used is, can you search online and get me few real-time engineering setup or architectures that are using PostgreSQL and Docker? So it gave me nice case studies into a downloadable format, MD files format. Now in the next step, what I have done is, since I have asked whatever that came in my mind at the time of discussion, then I used a nice prompts, a predefined prompts to actually ask AI to generate the same data. So there are a couple of prompts that I have created, again using AI, and then here are the prompts. The first one is extract the learning objective from the 2-minute video, and then go ahead with creating the roadmap and so on. So here is the prompt that I'm using it again. Paste the prompt there and then get the first prompt and ask the AI. So it said, let's walk through all the chat discussion. I'll skim through the important points. So what it says, what are all the things that you will learn um, from that 2 minute discussion. So it gave me a detailed roadmap, everything. Then followed by that, I said I'm a PostgreSQL database engineer, and then I want to optimize the learnings for PostgreSQL databases. So for PostgreSQL DBA, so these are all the things that you might need to learn, and then it gave me a mental model, um, how to build, run, operate, troubleshoot, secure, everything. um, what is it, what is there for a PostgreSQL database administrator, what to learn, container, images, and so on. And the third one is convert the capabilities into actionable roadmap. And then the fourth, I asked find the gaps that are there in the video so that um, uh, I fill it while learning my PostgreSQL database administration on Docker. Then I asked AI to finally create a SOP with a detailed step-by-step instructions to learn Docker on my PostgreSQL. So here is the task: PostgreSQL container lifecycle and persistent foundation. Like, how do you create a disk which you can use it for storing the PostgreSQL information, create containers, run it, log into your PostgreSQL database, and so on. So these are all the detailed steps that it has given me. For example, yeah, installing the Docker engine, followed by um, so I wanted to put the things into test. So I've just logged into my virtual machine and then started executing the commands as it is. So they are not what do you call optimized commands. They are just as it is. Copy paste the commands that it gave in the first attempt. Right. Let's execute the commands one by one. The idea of this session is not to explain each and every command in detail. It is just to understand whether the given commands in the first attempt are actually being executable or not. So I'm just going to install the commands as it is, and only when it is required we'll try to understand what is that particular command is doing. Otherwise we'll just blindly execute them one by one. So here, this is the important thing. What I'm doing is I'm getting the repository so that I can install the Docker in my machine. And then this is the command to install Docker in my machine. I have successfully installed the Docker, and then check the Docker version and then start it. Next, what I'm going to do is to create a persistent storage, and then use the storage for your database. So here is what I'm pulling the image, PostgreSQL image from the Docker Hub. And then once it is done, I'm going to use this command to create the container. And it has been successfully created. um, then we'll just try to uh, check the logs and then log into my database. Database system is ready to accept connections, which means my PostgreSQL database is ready on Docker. And then I will use this command to check if it is accepting the connections, and followed by actually logging into my container. Yeah, I have successfully logged into my database. Show the data directory, do basic stuff. So currently I'm at step 22. It has actually given me about 40 steps on in task 1. So blindly executing these commands is actually working. So none of the I have not faced any issue executing these commands in my Docker in my test environment. So when you get an issue, then you just ask, continue the prompt, saying that this is the error message I got, and how to solve it and all that stuff. Taking this learning into consideration, we'll just go back to our Oracle to PostgreSQL migration experiment. So this is the YouTube video they have posted around 3 weeks ago. What I'm going to do is I'm taking the URL of that video and using the same transcript generator to get a transcript of that particular video. And here is the transcript that I got. Now what I'm going to do, I'll copy the transcript and then I'll paste it to the notepad, and this is the transcript I got. I use the same method that we followed for our Docker learning to extract a meaningful content from here. So what I'm doing here is I'll use the plain prompts, not the saved or created the prompts. So what I'm doing here, I have a transcript from a technical webinar about an Oracle to PostgreSQL migration. Can you go through it and tell me what do you think about? Probably what do you think are the most meaningful technical and engineering points? Right, I'm just giving some additional prompting, like don't just summarize the webinar. I wanted to understand the valuable content from it. I have attached the transcript and then save. So here is the response. The biggest lesson: migration is not easy, or whatever it is. Assessment before migration is a real engineering activity. That means you have to assess your source, content, data type mapping, pay attention to data type mapping. PL SQL conversion is not easy. And then migration, workload engineering, whatever. And then 200 billion row example is probably the most valuable content. That guy has emphasized on a large table with 200 billion data, or 200 billion data probably. And it gave all these nice learning checklist. And then, based on our past conversation, it asked turn these points into a set of hands-on PostgreSQL migration labs. And it has converted that transcript into actionable migration labs. Right, lab 1, lab 2, what is lab 3 SQL, PL SQL basics, lab 8. Yeah, so many labs it has created. Then I asked it, I have Oracle and PostgreSQL installed on my machine. So I can actually try some of the commands discussed in this podcast. Give me a few examples. Then it gave me a few examples of Oracle to PostgreSQL migration challenges that I can try based on the podcast discussion. Or sorry, based on the webinar discussion. Then I gave a detailed prompt to my AI to give me a complete learning roadmap with examples, everything. So what it gave? So it gave me a complete case study, Oracle to PostgreSQL migration case study based on the real engineering problem that being discussed in the webinar. So it says the source machine data. It gave me the source machine details, the architectural diagram, how did they actually convert Oracle to PostgreSQL, what are the challenges that they have faced during the migration. For example, there is a nice tabular representation given. So yeah, what are the different decisions that they have made? So these are the production problems: initial load, Oracle CPU pressure, Aurora slowdown, IO throttling issues, data type issues, and so on. So what did I actually learn from this experiment? It's not about Docker, it's not about Oracle to PostgreSQL migration. It's about something like what something or get some information from online and what you can do with that information actually. So the next time when you are attending a conference session or watching a recorded webinar, don't just watch it and move on. Think about what you can actually take away and use from that session. Kablesh's talk had a lot of practical experience from the real world Oracle to PostgreSQL migrations. Things like data type mapping, replication, data loading, cutover, and rollback. The talk itself did not give me a learning roadmap or tell me what to practice, but the knowledge was already there. I used AI to pull out those important points, understand them from a PostgreSQL DBA perspective, and turn them into things that I can actually practice. That's the change I'm trying to make. Don't just consume technical content, turn it into something you can actually use. So if you have a conference talk, webinar, or a technical video in your watch list, try this approach before moving on to the next video. You might be surprised by how much useful knowledge you already that's already inside that one particular session. Thanks for watching, and a special thanks to Kabilesh PR and the PGConf Hyderabad team for the session that inspired me doing this experiment. If you like the content and if you think that you learned something new today, please like and share so that I'll continue doing these kind of experiments and share with you. Thank you.